What's up, everybody? Today, I want to talk about what I think is a really important topic and something that I struggle to understand, and I feel like other people struggle to understand as well, and that is that every single day in your life is not meant to feel meaningful. Not every day is meant to feel extremely exciting. Not every day is going to have this huge moment. And I think because a lot of us expect life to be like that each and every day, we feel let down pretty often. Like if we're not constantly growing or improving or having this grand old experience, that we're wasting our lives. But that's just not the case at all. And right now, I think we live in a world where everything in our life seems to be about maximizing something, maximizing our productivity, our happiness, our success, even maximizing our memories. It's like every single day it has to be something, it has to mean something. As soon as you wake up, you're already asking yourself, what am I doing today? What am I working towards? What am I accomplishing? And if the answer is just, well, nothing really special, that can feel uncomfortable, and it can almost feel like guilt in a way, which is a terrible thing. And I think social media has a huge influence on this because we're constantly looking and watching other people's lives, and we're seeing their own highlight reels, their trips, their memories, their milestones, big announcements. Their life always just seems perfect, and that starts to mess with your brain. It gets you thinking, well, my life should feel like this too. But the truth is, most of our life, most of everybody's life, is not a highlight reel at all. Most life, it's just quiet, regular, repetitive, normal, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing. That's actually what life is most of the time. And this has been something I've had to realize lately, and that's that most days, they're not gonna feel like anything. And then there's this weird moment in your head where you think, well, is this all life is? But that question comes from these false expectations that we constantly feel deep down. But life is not a movie. Life isn't a constant turning point. Life is mostly built out of just ordinary days stacked on each other. And honestly, in a way, that's kind of comforting, I think, because I can only just imagine how exhausting it would be to live a life so intense. And I think one of the hardest feelings that we face is when we have a day that just feels kind of empty, like not necessarily sad, not bad, but just empty in a way. Like we feel like nothing really happened that day. And because of that, your brain starts to search for a meaning, and it starts asking, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? Am I behind? If there's something wrong with me. But the truth is, nothing is wrong with you. That feeling is just what keeps you alive and keeps you human. We're not meant to be constantly stimulated 24/7. We weren't meant to constantly feel inspired. Sometimes we're just existing, and existing is enough. Some days are not meant to teach you anything. Some days are not meant to change your life. Some days are literally meant just to pass. Not every single day is going to be a breakthrough. Not every single day is going to feel magical. Some days are just rest. Some days are just getting through. Some days they're quiet. And those quiet days are really important because they help support everything else that's going on. And a meaningful life is not made out of meaningful moments. It's made of consistent, ordinary days. And speaking about the word meaningful, I think we often misunderstand what exactly meaningful means. We think meaningful means big and extravagant, traveling, success, achievements. But meaningful, I think, is smaller. It's a good conversation, a nice meal, a deep breath, random laugh, a quiet, calm morning, a simple day where nothing really went wrong. That's meaningful as well. It just doesn't really look too dramatic. And I think that's a big part of growing up and coming to realize that peace is meaningful, stability is meaningful, ordinary days, ordinary things, they're meaningful. Now, one of the biggest things I want to say in this video is you don't have to earn your existence. You don't have to justify every single day on earth. You don't have to prove that your life is worthwhile by making every day seem overly productive or exciting. Some days you're just going to feel off, and some days you might just do the basics. And that's okay. That's life. And you are not behind. You are not failing. You're just human. If you're going to take anything from this video, let it be this. Not every single day is meant to feel meaningful. Not every day is supposed to be a huge breakthrough. Not every day is supposed to feel like you're exactly on the right track. Some days are just days at the end of the day. Some days are just routine. And some days they're just getting you through the hours. And I think we need to stop looking at that like it's a problem, because the truth is, most of what life is made up of is in the in-between stages. The days that don't get posted, the days that don't become memories, the days that don't have this huge lesson attached to them. That doesn't mean that you're wasting your life. It just means that you're living it. And I think we've just gotten so familiar and so used to chasing this constant, intense life, this constant growth, this constant excitement, that we forget that a calm, normal day is actually super meaningful. Like a day where nothing went wrong, a day where you were safe, a day where you ate, you breathed, you made it through. That counts, that matters. And if you're in a season of your life right now where it just feels a little bit repetitive or just kind of numb, I want you to know that you're not broken and you're not behind. You're not doing life wrong at all. You're just in the part of a life that is quiet. And these quiet seasons in life, they're still seasons, they're still important, because you don't grow in these big moments, you grow in the ordinary ones. You grow in consistency, you grow in showing up, even when it's boring, especially when it's boring, even when it doesn't feel meaningful, even when you're not really inspired or motivated. And I think that's something that I'm learning more and more, that meaning isn't something you have to force out of yourself every day, because sometimes meaning, it's only obvious to you later, and sometimes you'll look back and you'll realize that, oh, that was a chapter in my life. And that's not something that you'll notice in the moment. That's something that you can only learn and realize in the future, after the fact. So please, just stop putting so much pressure on yourself to make every day feel like something. You don't need to romanticize your life 24/7. You don't need to be your best self every day. You just need to be constantly improving. And some days are literally just meant to live, and that's enough. And if today was one of those days, today felt uneventful, if today felt plain, if it felt like really nothing happened, I hope you can just learn to give yourself the permission to be okay with that, because you're still here, you're still trying, you're still becoming. Just take a deep breath, let yourself have ordinary days, let yourself rest, let yourself just exist, and trust that you're not falling behind. You're just human. All right, that's all I really had to say today. Hopefully this resonated with some of you guys and you enjoyed this video. I know I definitely enjoyed making it. Feel free to leave any thoughts or suggestions in the comments for future videos like this going forward, because I definitely plan on making many more videos just like this. So without further ado, I'm going to end the video off there. Hope you all enjoy it, and I will see you tomorrow.